Good morning, everyone. What is going on? We got about a minute until the market opens. I just dropped my headset and smashed it, so not a good start today, but hey, maybe we can get a good trade going this morning. If you jumped on the pre-market analysis this morning, you saw that there could be some potential for some downside today after a little morning bullishness. We'll see how this thing plays out. I'll be watching the VIX very closely. The VIX currently is spiking to 1829 after rejecting the 17 level again. Seems to have a propensity to reject this mid 17 level to come back up. 1829, the futures and the NASDAQ have been very heavy. We have a continued sell-off here going into the market open. We got 30 seconds till the market's open, and we'll see how that goes. So right now, yeah, I've only got my left ear working. Right side is broken, so calls on a new headset for sure. Morning. Welcome if you are on the YouTube live chat. Welcome if you're on the Patreon chat. A lot of new people over the night again. I love the continued growth of the community. People want to make some money, baby, and I'm here to help you do that. Top of the morning to you. What's going on? Dustin, how you doing, buddy? Julie, morning. How is everybody doing? I'm going to stick with the Friday puts and the calls. I know it's a little close, DT, but I want to take advantage of a little volatility here. There is the market open. Let's switch to the 3-minute chart. So the market is definitely red. As you can see, there's a lot of red on the screen. Futures are down. SPY is coming up right here. Small red candle. Qs, big red candle on the volume profile. I'm sorry, on the volume candles, but the very little price action here. But it is growing. Let's see how that shakes out. Bonds are increasing. Big red candle on the XLF. So definitely a little rotation there. XLK is green. VIX is steadily increasing there. All the FAANG is red, except for Tesla and Netflix. Tesla's getting a little bit of green there after some nasty couple of days. I mean, look at that. Very nasty past 3 days. They just got absolutely waylaid. And now a little bit of buying action there. We'll see how this thing shakes out. Looking at the deltas and the Greeks here, now that we're updated, looking at the Fridays, I've got the 0.4s, which is 444 calls, and the 445s is 0.31. Yeah, so I'm going to stick with the 445s, a little outside the norm, non-standard, but that's what we call it in the pilot world. Is when you ever brief something that's not standard, that's all you got to say. It's non-standard. And then we got 0.35 and 0.42 deltas on the puts with the 442s. So I'm going to stick with the 441s. Yeah. So, all right, this little green candle, or the red candle flipped over to green. We've got the EMAs crossing up here. The 8 is coming up to the 21. Let's see if we actually do get a crossover up here, or if rejection comes back down. Big green candle on the Qs. Holy smokes. Look at that. Green candles here on the futures. Green candles on the NASDAQ. Major green candles. So VIX is up here, 1844. Red candle there. Yikes, Amundo. Look at that. So that thing jumped off of 364.86, and now we're up to, I mean, holy crap, look at that. Over $1 gain in about 2 seconds. Futures got a little green, not nearly as bullish as the NASDAQ or tech, though. VIX is kind of hanging out here. This mid-18 level SPY is still flat. Not too much movement right now between that red and green flipping back and forth. Yeah, bonds had that big green, but then it sold off here. So it looks like that some of the money came out of the bonds. We'll see how that reacts there in the morning. Am I just doing puts? I'm doing both. Whatever I see. I've got my watch list posted, 445 calls, 441 puts. And I'll develop a SPX watch list shortly. SPY's 3 green candles. VIX still green. Look at that. Q's selling off again. A lot of volatility definitely in the tech sector this morning. NASDAQ is flipping around. Futures, after having a rough pre-market, see what it wants to do here. I'm doing Fridays, the Friday DTEs, which is a 2-day DTE, a little shorter than normal, but yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'll adjust if the itch goes away. So we do have FOMC today, 2 p.m. Eastern, so be on the lookout for that. I don't expect too much, but we'll see. VIX popping up 1851. So this thing was flipping red-green, this candle, and now we got this one that looks like it's forming green and popping green. So green candle's being sold off. Look at that. Q's, nice red, healthy candle there after some pretty big buying opportunities there. Futures red. I got $1.37 on the 441 puts, $1.38. And the calls are 93 cents each right now. Man, a lot of volatility this morning. I'm not touching this. I'm going to let these candles shake out. I'm going to let these candles shake out. So, looking at the 1 year, this is what I want to show y'all, and this is what I discussed in the pre-market talk, pre-market brief. Let's extrapolate this here. So this is the 1 year. I was looking at the last time we had the dip. We spiked, we came down, we spiked to new highs, and then we had this doji that just gapped us down. The body closed here, which is just shared. This is the trigger I was looking for yesterday. The body closed under the previous day's candle, which means like the buyers never fully stepped in, brought this thing down, which looks like a lot like yesterday, except the body closed. I wanted the body close below the previous candle to really confirm we were in a bearish sentiment, but it closed above. That's why I didn't elect to take the swing puts yesterday. And then I want to see how today's comes out. Now, if we have this big engulfing candle that comes up and reaches that lower 445 level and then drops us down, we'll know that the sellers are here to stay, at least for the short term, and bring us back down to this 50. So today's a very important day in terms of confirmation if we're going to come back down to this 50 level, which is the mid 435s, in which I'll take those September 3rd 435 puts and swing these for a few days, try to grab out a nice 300%er. But that's to be determined yet. Watching this very closely, if you go to the 6-month chart, you see the EMA is already crossed over. You see this? I mean, we've been nice and healthy for a while. We have the 8 EMA crossed to the 21 and the 34, which we haven't done that in a long time. Look at this. We haven't done that since right here's when we crossed down on August 2nd. So nice, healthy little flush between the 21 and the 34, and now below the 50. So we'll see how today plays out. Very important to look at the longer time frame charts. Highly encourage you to spend some time looking at the longer time frame stuff, even if you are just a scalper. Where do you get on the pre-market chat? Yeah, we have the Patreon exclusive chat in the Discord room. Yep, it's now 10. We closed out the $5 tier, so now it's 10. Yeah. Yep. If you want to get on that, there is the link. You can take that link and sign up for the 2 that you like. A lot of good perks. Talk about pre-market chats every day. Pre-market briefs go over what I expect the levels to be. Plus, you get access to veteran exotics. You get access to the Thursdays and Fridays. I'm sorry, the Tuesdays and Thursdays exclusive stream as well when I'm not here on YouTube. So, green candles here, 443.17 coming up on the 34 EMA NASDAQ. Big green candle again, buying up that red. Look at that, raging all to session highs again soon. Futures getting bought up, and this is the volatility that I don't want to get caught up in. I'll let these candles shake out here, let it do its thing, and then once it kind of gets an idea of what it wants to do, I will jump in the market. What's up, TJ? How you doing? Snake. I'm a snake. What do you think about the June 2022 100 puts for SPY to play an IV increase? Potential. I think it's a good play. That's a long way out. But the IV, yeah, I mean IV, it's a good way to play it for sure, especially with the IV being a little low. Morning, Andy. How you doing, buddy? What do we have the limit set on our orders? I don't have a limit set yet, but I am watching these things. They are right now the $1.27 on the puts, and the calls are $1.94. So there's not too much movement in the premiums yet because we are kind of staying in this tight range. So not really anxious to jump in yet. I want to see how this thing plays out. Swing trading can be very, like they're talking about swing trading in the Patreon chat. Swing trading can be very, very profitable once you identify the proper way to enter. This whole buying calls before the market closes and selling at the open, it works, but when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I know that's a very John Madden way to put it, but you're pretty much gambling because we're pretty much at that 50-50 where you actually SPY actually increases enough in pre-market to make money. Especially now when we're kind of topped out at all-time highs, we're ready for that oscillation back down to the 50. Now then, after we hit that 50, do it all day long. But if you can identify key points in which to swing, you can make a lot of money. You can do very well with swings. Can you use your current strategy for swing trades? Absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. Because my strategy, I mean, it works awesome for swings because I'm heavily based on volume analysis. I want to look for volume nodes. I want to look for pivots on which the price manipulates where you have certain resistance levels and support levels. And if you can identify those where the volume comes in and out of the market, you can absolutely swing. In fact, just as good, if not better, as you can day. But you have to identify. The point is, you have to identify the points on which you want to enter a swing trade. I don't want to swing. I don't want to enter daily swings because you're just gambling at that point, unless you've got good setups. 444.30 right here. The range is 443.35, 442.69, so just shy of $1. About what is that? 31 cents. That's 66 cents. So a little 66 cent range. Qs or barcode. Look at this nice big candles. Green, red, green, red. And SPY is just kind of hovering around. Slight uptick, but the candles are still shaking and baking. Decreasing buying volume. We've got a black candle here on the squeeze momentum. We're indicating we're in the squeeze. We have a dark red candle. So we're in the squeeze now, favoring the sellers. Let's see if we get a release to one side or the other. The market is pretty red right now. Pretty red. Even the NASDAQ keeps getting sold. The futures are here. Let's see how we're going to shake it back. Jim coming out with $10 super chat. Thank you very much. He says, just wanted to thank you for all you do. Watch the letting your winners run video. I have also struggled with doing this, but I have winners. Last two trades were 50 and 35%. Awesome stuff. Well done, Jim. That's incredible trades. Incredible trades. Yeah, what'd you get those 50 on? That's amazing. I mean, I know I got a 26%er yesterday. If I would have held on, I think I could have grinded out a 40%er. But yeah, man, awesome stuff, man. Thank you. I appreciate the generosity. I appreciate you supporting the community. And well done on those trades. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yeah, if y'all have any big trades, let me hear about them. I want to hear about your trades. I want to hear about how you took them, how you held on to them, all that stuff, man. I love it. I love it. Thanks, Andre. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm here for y'all, man. I'm here for y'all. I'm trying to, pass on all my knowledge through. I wish it could be as easy as osmosis. I wish you all could just like press your faces up all against your computer screens, and I'll just transfer all my energy to you through osmosis. But unfortunately, we can't do that because we don't live in 2735. So here I am trying to help you all as much as I can, just pass all my knowledge on to you. And that's all I can do, man. That's all I can do. Green candles out, right, coming out on the SPY, bouncing off of just over above VWAP. And on the 8, as the 8 starts to cross up here, it looks like we're going to get a pinch here. Now, remember I said 445, that lower 445 level has potential. We could reach that. I know that'd be very bullish. We could reach it. If we do, I mean, we might have a big swing in price here going on through today and tomorrow. It all depends on how the sellers kick in. Right now, we've got a diminishing buyer's volume right now, with not much price movement as the Qs start to roll over here. XLF is getting bounced. XLV, same thing. XLE starting to roll right now. NASDAQ is kind of figuring out what it wants to do, and the futures look like it's crossing up here. So be on the lookout right now. Very curious to see how the next 30 minutes. 10:05, that 10:05 to 10:30 Central, 11:05 to 11:30 Central area. That's going to be the pretty much determinant to figure out. Are we going to have a choppy range day, or are we going to beast mode one way or the other? What are your thoughts about entering long calls for the purpose of selling a ratio of short against longs? Oh, you're talking about some hedging positions, so that's a different strategy altogether. I would think it's very smart to hedge if you know how to do that. If you have the know-how and the capital to be able to make those kind of plays, absolutely. You definitely want to hedge against risk all the time. My best trade was increasing my 401k contributions to an insane level during the COVID crash and running the market all the way down. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Hey, add it on the way down, add it on the way up. When you're long-term trading, just add, baby. We ain't worried about it. If like my long-term trading account, yes, obviously the number one strategy in long-term accounts is average cost, is lowering your average cost. That's the whole name of the game. That's your only strategy. Buy low, average cost down. So if you have a downtrend, add on the way down, baby. Add on the way down. That's all there is to it. Unfortunately, like I was ready to get out of the market, so I didn't add anything on the way down, but I did play the upside. And man, that was glorious. That was glorious. Yeah, buddy. Do you think the gap will be first from yesterday? Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to happen. We're only 9 cents away from that. So potentially. Elon does want to put chips in our brains. Long knowledge osmosis. Press his faces on screen. I love it. Yeah, I'll just release an update file every morning and just update y'all like I know Kung Fu. Great movie. Morning, Sonny. How's it going? All right, green candles here. Diminishing volume green candles. Qs. Nice and green. XLK doing the same thing. VIX is starting to round over here. We've got green candle on the 21. XLF is red right there. Bonds still trading flat, not too much action in the bonds. NASDAQ is got some big old body candles here as the futures are starting to beast mode up. We do have a crossover 8 and 21, and we've got the same on the SPY as it's hitting 34 right now. Show me. Great movie. Great movie. When is that VIX going to spike? Is this that time of the month? I do think it is that time of the month. I do. Look at the rotation between the bonds and the XLF. You can kind of see since the 12th right here that we've had this increase in bonds. You've had the corresponding decrease in the financial sector, which is indicative of a rotation. So money is starting to be hedged. When you have that kind of hedging, you know that the big money is looking to protect against risk. They're anticipating some sort of downside, which everything's lining up. It doesn't mean go in right now and buy a bunch of puts. It just means be ready for the indicators. Be ready for the market. So when you see it, you can identify it and enter a put. What is that saying? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Well, let's be lucky. Let's prepare so we can be lucky when the opportunity presents itself. You can do a little algebra and figure that out. So, yeah, buddy. Took 105% win to start the day. Well done. All right, SPY 3-minute. We're up here, 443.63, back down. I really want to focus on the body of this 1-year candle. See how this thing's playing out. So you see the breadth of this candle. Look at this. See this? This was yesterday. See this candle? Very similar action. This thing blew up, and then the seller just went blah, 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 blah. Just took it down. Just absolutely took it down. And the seller just overcame. You see this increasing selling volume. We have it here. Nice big selling volume candle, one of the biggest we've had in a long time. This one and this one, the only one's bigger. So the sellers are here, but the question is, do the buyers overcome it or do the sellers hang out? And that's what we're looking for. Where do I get the range indicator you're looking for? Yeah, so to my knowledge, it's only in TradingView, to my knowledge. If you go to the indicators, you go OM session ranges, right there. You type in OM session ranges, bam, there it is. That'll get you set up. I'm here. Just had to mute it for a second. Red candles on the SPY. NASDAQ is wicking out right here top. The Qs. You see this range? They've got a very large range right now. 364.86, 365.98, about $1.10 on that range. SPY has got 443.63 to 442.69, just shy of $1 range. Just shy. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. VIX hanging out mid-18s. We get that spike above 20. Look, it's starting to increase. We bounce off this low down here on the VIX, off this 15 level, and now we're just kind of got this steady increase. Little oscillations up and down, up and down. We're 1833. If we go to 21, look at this. Look back here. Way back on here. We started having this volatility after coming down. On July 19th, this is when we had that crash and then down. So you see it. It started increasing into the crash. This thing started increasing into the crash. That's why you want to look at charts. How does everything react? And now we have this fall off as we went to all-time highs. And then, of course, here, as we start this oscillation back down to the 50, we've got the increase in VIX. Increase in VIX. And that's telling us potentially we have more downside. SPY right now, green, red, baby, getting bought up. Do you think we'll see all-time highs before we hit the 50? No, I don't. I personally do not think we'll see all-time highs before we hit the 50. I mean, the retreat to the 50 will happen very quick. It'll be 2 or 3 days. and then we'll just bounce, and then we'll go at all-time highs. So it just the signs are all on the wall that we are heading back down. The sellers are going to come in there and just reset this thing, which is normal. It's normal market, nothing to be afraid of. It's normal market stuff. So I don't think we'll see all-time highs again. We'd have to climb all the way up to 447 to see, or like upper 447s in order to see that, which I just don't see that kind of bullish activity coming in. And that's news depending, of course. Can't predict news. $441 puts currently trading for $1.06 each. $1.06 each. Green candles here as the Qs are going green. NASDAQ is nice and green. Futures are green too. VIX coming down. Let's look at everything else here. Bonds rolling over. Still trading kind of flat though in a range, but right now currently rolling over. XLF is popping. Hey, you sign up for TW Pro. Do you mean TradingView? Should I also sign up for market data? It's a good investment. It's only $6 or $4. It's just $4 if you just want to do the futures. $2 if you want to throw in the Nasdaq. It's a good investment. I think it's worth it to be able to see that kind of action live. Today's the day for the 2-week put. Possibly. What do I think about Palantir converting $50 million in cash reserve to gold to hedge against a black swan event? Do they know something people don't? I'm cautious to talk about Palantir. Just because I work hand in hand with them. So at work. So 443.90. Y'all crazy. All right, so big green candle here as we've got 10 minutes so the morning ranges are set as we're popping high. We've now busted pre-market. No, not yet. We've pretty much, we're just shy of pre-market highs and still increasing as there's, whoa, hey, look at that. NASDAQ just got absolutely beasted. So large green candles here getting bought up. Bonds are rolling over. Big rotation into the financials here as well, and the tech as just popped this thing way up to 444.09. So interesting action for sure. For a while there, the Nasdaq cannot figure out what it wants to do, but massive buy up here, just beasted all the way from 14,967 all the way up to 14,030. So it's about a 40-point buy up. VIX is rolling over. Let's see if it comes down to this mid 17 level. XLK, XLF looking very great. What am I looking for to take the position? First, I'm going to wait until these ranges are set and volume kind of stabilizes to figure out what's going to happen here. That buy up was quite egregious. I think the lower 445s. I said this in the pre-market that lower 445s could be on the table today, and then potentially more downside after that we reach that level. So that's what I'll be really focusing on today. Nice, Julie. Well done. Nice little 22%. Awesome stuff. Quite egregious. Yeah, sure. I can make it. That's a good shirt idea. I love it. I love it. All right, so we have 6 minutes till the morning ranges are set. 6 minutes. FAANG has all pretty much flipped green. Tesla is getting bought. That's a funny thing about Tesla, man. There's no calm days with Tesla. It's either 2% down, 3% up, 7% down. It's crazy. There's never just a dull day in Tesla. That's part of being a Tesla owner. Microsoft's getting bought right there, so all the FAANG is definitely looking strong, except, let's see, Apple's kind of trading flat at the moment. Uh-oh. DJ Roomba's trying to come out of the cave. All right, 3 minute. We're up above the POC here on the 5 minute. Definitely looking bullish at the moment. We are squeezing to the upside. Squeeze Momo above the POC. 15 minute looking the same. We got a gray cross here on the downside, but it's lagging on the 15 minutes, so just be careful with that. Crossed up over on the 15 minute for the Qs. 5 minute looking bullish for sure. XLF looking great. Healthcare sector is popping up. We have a crossover 2134 as we are punctured through this volume node up here at the top, up the lower 444s. Got a little red here, a little red. Some big red here on the NASDAQ futures as well, but it's getting wicked. Here's the Qs coming back down. XLF, still green. XLK. See how this POC reacts right there, this 443.75 level. VIX still dropping here, so not really in any hurry to take any put position here. We'll see if we have any more upside. NASDAQ is three reds in a row. Could probably bring a little more downside here into the futures. Just holding strong, though, on this level right here. So we rejected this level yesterday before selling right before close. Curious to see where we go in the next few minutes. I'm going to post another SPY daily sentiment poll. All right, poll posted. Let me know what you think. Vote. We're gonna close the 13:30 morning session at 444.5, flat 444 or 443.5. Green candles up here after those three little reds. NASDAQ is getting bounced off their EMAs futures as well. Where do I vote? Where do I vote? Oh, where do you vote? Okay, yeah. So go to SPY Daily. I thought you asked me where, like, which one I'm voting for. Yeah. How do I feel about supply and demand zone? I think it's a great system. I think it's a great system. I haven't, it's as long as you're basing your decisions on volume, like I have no problem with it. It's I just think volume is the key in terms of figuring out how to do this properly. Red candle's coming down 443.94. NASDAQ is red, starting to shift downward again as well. Potential a little downside here. Potential a little downside. Y'all crazy. All right, ranges are set. So let's type this up 44515 and then 44269. So about $1.50 range. That's a nice little range. Definitely hollowed out here with this big green candle. Just brought it up. Interesting action so far. We'll see how it plays out, man. We'll see how it plays out. The 1 year chart. Let's see how that green candle just looks at it. I like to really look at this, and today I'm going to be focusing a lot on it because it's going to be a key point in my decision-making process. If we close higher than the previous days of 44496, if we close up there, then that's going to be another bullish sentiment, and we're probably going to have a little more upside before we continue on down. But if we close down here, even if we close below this 440, definitely. Hopefully I'm in puts before 440 because that's a pretty heavy downside. So interesting action so far. You really got to look at this 1 year to see how the price is acting and tell you what the sellers and buyers are doing. Right now, low volume. Look at the super low volume so far. The day is early. We've only been open for 38 minutes. So, but be very careful because we have this big selling volume here. We're down. Let's see how this candle closes. I love the 1 year chart, man. I think the 1 year chart is the most important chart you can look at. It's the overall picture. It's the macro view. It tells you from 70,000 feet where you're going to go and see everything. Me too, Bryson. Me too. Should I buy NEO now? I stopped looking at NEO a long time ago. Why don't I use a squeeze indicator by Lazy Bear? I do down here. Yep, 1 year day chart for sure. Are you able to tell us how to use the 1 year chart to make weekly option plays? Yeah, for sure. So the 1 year, it's all about having market awareness. Like the first thing on all my analysis is market awareness, and you need to be aware of all conditions. You don't want to go into a trading day with what you call a soda straw view. We're just looking through a straw at one single day. You're only getting a small piece of the pie. You want to look at the whole thing. And if you can identify where the trend is going on the overall big scheme of things, you can kind of narrow down what your strategy is going to be on that particular day. For example, back here, if we go back to July 19th, where we bounced right here, and the second day, you see this big engulfing candle, green candle, big buyer stepped in, popped this thing up. It closed up here. So I could predict that tomorrow is going to be bullish day because the sellers overtook this thing, engulfed it, came back up. And now we've got potential for have another bullish day. So I'm going to be looking at calls heavy on when I open up on the 21st. And this because I'm watching this whole candle. I'm watching this whole 1 year chart. I'm watching the volume. Here I see the buying volume starting to diminish, and finally we have the little day there. But for the most part, the volume has been diminishing. So I can see that the buyers are starting to putter about. We have these wicks on these candles, and now we've got these candles here. You can kind of see at a visualization standpoint and how the candles are forming. That's what candle reading is very important as well, because it identifies how the volume and how the price action is actually opening and closing. Then you can identify the actual moving averages. I use the 50 for the 1 year. The 200 I use as well, but that only comes into play on corrections. So I don't even have the 200 up here. If we start to enter correction territory, I'll put the 200 back on, but I don't even use it anymore unless we're in that area. So the 50 MA now is this red line here, and I've kind of got this drawn out to figure out, kind of just estimate where that 50 will be if it continues on this path. And this 50 right here, I'm predicting with this price were to come down, we're looking somewhere in this mid 40 or 35 range when we come back down, which is what we did here. It's what we did here. It's what we did here. It's what we did here. Just on down and down and down. This nice little cyclical every 30 to 40 days, it just comes down. All right, so we're stuck to the top of the range. 44413. Yeah, buddy. If the Fed announces tapering, will you put it back up? Absolutely, yeah. Taper it once monetary policy goes away, when it changes officially, like everyone says it's never going to change, it's going to change. When we actually officially change monetary policy and all the liquidation, all the asset purchases that the Federal has put into place to protect the market against inflation, once that goes away, I'll put the 200 back up because we'll probably quickly approach it. If you do not believe me, go back to 2018. Go back to September. Go back to October of 2020. Then go back to 2018 and look at the dips. Like, it happens. People are like, oh, the problem is all these new influx of investors that came about because of Wall Street Bets, because of GameStop, because of AMC, because of Corona, all this stuff, they've never seen a downturn. So it's hard for them to imagine the market actually dropping 20%, 10%. It happens quite often. And I promise you it's going to happen when monetary policy changes. So be aware. And if you learn how to play puts, if you learn how to read the volume, there's nothing wrong with it. Learn to play puts and calls, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just me seeing a bunch of red candles drop us 15% is just as good as seeing a bunch of green candles rocketing us up 15%. Same thing to me. Just color. Because I can play puts and I can play calls. There's no difference. And then a more buying opportunity for my long-term account. All right, so little green candles puttering about off the ADMA 3-minute chart. 5-minute, same as well. What's up, Lee Rat? How you doing, buddy? I just read VPA. I'm learning how to incorporate it. Well done. It's a great decision there. There you go. Getting work done. I personally use simple moving averages, but as long as it works, it works. At these ranges, I'm being a little more cautious. I'm taking risk off the table. I've liquidated all my Netflix. I've liquidated most of my Tesla, stuff like that. So I am taking a little more risk off the table here. I'm not adding quite as much in SPY because I am anticipating sometime in the next 6 to 8 months, we're going to hit that 200. But I don't want to take everything off the table. I just want to take a little off the table, start risking. And then, when I filter my profits out from from my trading account, then I make a decision on where I'm going to put that money at. Do I have an Amazon affiliate link or something for the VP? I just want to get you credit if I can. Nope, I don't. It's a good idea. I just don't have it yet. Why most day traders trade on the 5 minute? I trade on the 3 minute and the 5 minute. What's your opinion on holding through a loss? Long-term trading account, obviously you're going to fake that. You're going to face that kind of stuff. Options, you got to be careful holding through a loss because options are different than stocks. You're facing theta, you're facing decay. So you got to be careful holding losses on options. Nope, I use the 3 minute. It's good stuff. 3 and 5 minute. The 1 minute's too much noise. I don't use the 1 minute. So the volume here, that candle was definitely supported. We popped out the top of the range here as the Qs are kind of figuring out just back and forth, green, red, NASDAQ as well. Futures are definitely just beast mode here, coming back up to very early morning hour ranges, the 448.75. Let's see if we reject these levels and come on back down as the SPY is now above their range. VIX fallen mid-17, so this has all the signs of maybe we're going to come back down here because I'm watching the XLF, I'm watching the bonds start to increase here. The futures are coming back up to pre-market. We might have a bounce off this upper 448 level or 4448 level. And then the VIX coming down to this mid-17s, we might get a bounce of the VIX and the retreat of the futures and bring SPY down. So I'm actually considering taking puts here pretty soon. I like the setup. I like this setup. Just need a little bit more out of it. VIX is green, SPY is red here above their range. EMAs look pretty strong here, but got to look at the levels. You got to look at the levels. We're at 444.25. We do have a gap from yesterday that could be filled today. I would highly doubt it because that is extremely bullish. I don't expect that kind of bullish action to come into the market today. Green candles here coming up 444.50.45 as the Qs there. Nasdaq still looking bullish, and the futures are popping up 449. There we go. We hit this pre-market highs, and just absolutely going beast mode right now. All right, so I do need to adjust my strikes. Yeah, it's a good call because the way this thing is acting. So let's go with we're at 444.5. I'm going to stick with the 442s. And now let's go 443s. 443s. And then 446. There you go. Adjusted. All right, so look, futures popped up here to pre-market areas, wicked out. Now we have a red candle coming down. Let's see if it holds that rejection. As the bonds trading flat. Here's that 1-year chart, still maintaining that. Downtrend is here. Let's see how this candle forms up here. If I get that big green engulfing candle to the upside and closes above, then I will not obviously take the puts, swing puts. Yeah, I'm not worried about earnings reports. All right, let's take a look at these SPX. All right, I would go with the 4440s. And then the 4465s. Volume, I'll go with the 4470s. 4440, 4470s. Well, I don't want to play leaps right now. Like I don't want to swing a put right now. Because if we get that bullish action and close above that engulfing candle, I mean that's bullish. That means buyers have stepped back in and we're not quite ready for the 50 yet. So I don't want to take puts just because we're high. Like I want to let the charts tell me when to take these puts. I'm not sure, Lee Rat. I think I might switch over to the SPXs, trade those. I like the volume on those. The 4470s are looking pretty decent. So yeah, I'll trade SPYs first. The 4440s calls and the 4470 puts. Those are the SPX contracts. If you look at the SPX options, it's that's the strike prices of the SPX contracts. Yeah, yeah, I'd be curious. I would think they're pretty close in winning percentage, but yeah, I'd like to see that. There's not really any difference in other than liquidity. That's really my own decision. All right, so bonds are flat. XLF is still climbing pretty heavy. VIX is still falling, but we're at that point where VIX has been rejecting off this 1750 level. So I went through the broker and checked commissions for my SPY trades. It was brutal. Yep. Yep. I mean, I'm averaging about, anywhere from, I don't know. I mean, it's SPY commissions get high. SPY commissions. That's why I trade mostly SPX. Sprinkle some SPY trades in there, but yeah. It all depends on your profits too there. So if you have 5K in commissions in July, I hope you have a lot more profits to cover those. But yeah. No open positions yet. No open positions. Can you trust volume? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My entire system is built on volume. So VIX is almost there, 1750. 1751 would be this range here. Strong pivot is this mid 17s. What price do I see on the 44.75 820s? Let's look. 44.75 820s. I've got 560 on the bid and 580 on the ask. Last mark was 570. There it is. So there's that rejects right at that top. So it reject this pre-market range up here, come back down after this bullish action here. Decreasing volume, pop up here, dark green candle in the squeeze Momo. We're at the 8 EMA right now. VIX is at this point where it might want to bounce. XLK is there. XLF is puttering about here at the top. Yeah, buddy. Yep, I'm going to trade SPX. Not much volume, but look at that. Came right back into the range. Right back into the range. Do I get annoyed with huge trend days on volume? Here's the thing on trend days. If I could catch half the trend days, I'm doing good. Because trend days goes against your eye. It goes against, hey, it's high, it can't go any higher. But the last trend day was terrible because it was like this pitter patter volume. It just bounced it off. It tested bearish lows, like my trigger lows, and then it raged. So I didn't catch the last trend day, but the one before that was like the 100% or so, the real good trend day. I don't mean the trend day where it kind of putters above and just does this. I mean the one where it goes like this for like almost the entire day. The last one we had that 100%er. So if I can catch half of them, I'm doing good. When the Fed tapers, where do you see the market dropping to? That's the thing. I don't know. Like we are in unprecedented times, unprecedented monetary policy, unprecedented federal asset purchases, unprecedented debt, unprecedented inflation, all that stuff. And now we've got this market that's 100% higher than it was, 16 months ago. 100% higher than where it was 16 months ago, which is absolutely ridiculous. So no one can really say where we're going to be when the Fed starts tapering. I think the 200 simple moving average could pretty legitimately come into play. But who knows? Who knows? Well, Snake, I liquidated most of my Teslas, so that should tell you something. Right now, the 200 is 399.59, so right at 400. So right at 400. That would be a 10% drop if we hit the 200 from right where we are now. And we've closed the gap. At one point, we were at 16% extended above the 200. So we've closed the gap. Usually you see this. I mean, this is all of 18. This is, in 19 into 20, we had a great bullish year. And then obviously Corona just smashed right through the 200. So yeah, 10% if we do hit the 200 as of right now. Last time that happened was Corona. Corona was the last time we touched it. I think you know the answer to that, John. Yeah, I probably will. I probably will. IOG07. All right, so holding the top of the range so far as the futures are hanging out up there. Bonds are doing this little wave thing, fluctuating. XLF is coming back into the range. Let's look at the NASDAQ, doing the same. It's the red up here, 8 EMA. VIX, flat out mid-17s. What we gonna do? Let's go 50-50 on a brokerage. What do you mean? We're gonna make some money. That's right, Lee Rat. Then later we're gonna make some gains, baby. What would you say the most out there asset you've tried to apply your system to? The Qs? I don't like to get out there. I like to be nice and safe. I like to be nice and conservative. Play good. Today is leg day number 2, baby. Leg day number 2. Ooh, that's roughly. That's roughly right. You won't be limping tomorrow. Yeah. All right, so looking around, we got the dark green candles squeeze Momo. We have decent buying volume here, not much price action. So 444, we're at the mid fours. Mid fours. I'm tired of saying 4444, 444. So mid fours. Futures are hanging out top of their pre-market range. Bonds are selling off at the moment, but they're kind of oscillating back and forth. The question is, do you think we're going to have a trend day? A trend day is where we pop above and go whip and just keep on going higher. Right now we're plugged to the top of the range. What do you mean my risk reward ratio? How much do I hate SPY this week? I don't know. I've had a pretty good week, man. I've made pretty decent money this week. Last week was, I was green, but I didn't kill it last week. I did good enough. This week, it's been a pretty good week. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Eddie Hall towards bicep. It sucks. Yeah, 0.394483. That was my risk reward. Oh, hey, drilling down on bonds. Drilling down on the bonds as VIX is green. Interesting. Interesting. Stand by. Hold on. SPY is top of the range here. This could drive us up to 445. So Qs are red. Hey, look at that little dip here on the Qs as the futures turn red too. Bonds selling there, XLF. Little gap up in the XLF, so that's to be expected. Let's see if SPY will come into it. There are pros and cons to SPX, SPY. It's not as simple as just less commissions. You have to look at the spread. You have to look at the fills, which you're going to get, and how you're going to play that. So, and the volume, of course, depends on how many contracts you're going to play. If you're only playing one or two, not that big a deal. You have to look at the spreads as well. No. Actually, today I'm going to have to sign off about 30 minutes earlier than usual. Usually I get off at 12 Eastern. I sign off at 12 Eastern. Especially on days like now where it's not really moving all that much. So, baby, come back. Y'all look crazy. All right, red candles here as the NASDAQ is starting to roll. VIX hovering out right there. Bonds are still selling off here. Let's see how that affects XLF to continue on this upward trend. Oh man, we got Tank City. Look at this. I don't know. It depends how this thing works out. I haven't traded Power Hour in a while. I think last time I did it, it was like an 8-second trade. All right, so we're back inside the range. Not good for a trend day if that's what you're hoping for. Qs are rolling over. NASDAQ is getting smoked as well as the bonds are just getting rolled at the moment. Interesting action so far, for sure. Interesting action. All right, SPY is gapping down here. VIX bounce off that mid 17 level. Sometimes I gotta play. I gotta play these plays. I just gotta read the system. I kick myself when I've got an obvious entry I don't take. I would love to see some 443, Bryson. I'd love it. Love it. Look at that. NASDAQ's drilling. NASDAQ's drilling. VIX is double green here. Nice, Bryson. Well done. All right, so we do have sustained volume here on a selling volume. SPY's drilling down. We're at the 34 VIX. It bounced off the 1750 level. XLK is doing the same thing. If this thing breaks down, I'll probably jump into some puts here. XLV TLT is down but green. Interesting action. NASDAQ is just drilling straight down, holding this level hard, and just bam, baby. Just fell off a cliff. I'd expect that candle to turn red. There you go. And coming on down. If this thing breaks down, it's going to be major puts. Yep. Yep. Yeah, major puts. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at the NASDAQ. Holy crap. Wow. Nice. All right, XLF is green. Qs are rolling over here. SPY is very much on the edge. We'll be looking to see to get something done. Do I have a target for the downside today? I don't have a target necessarily. I'm just watching the action here. So Beat. Sorry, I keep eating this headset as now shattered, so I'm kind of like trying to deal with this headset. All right, so right here, 444.51 or 25 for the futures as SPY came back into the range right at the 34. Bonds are just drilling down. Not really much rotation here to XLF here, so there's no rotation. They're just liquidating bonds. Weakness in the market here. You got something out of that? That's funny. I do. I do trade options every weekday. Come on now, Trife. All right, big green here on the futures and the NASDAQ. All right, so big green coming right up here, 34 EMA. VIX is rolling back over. No, I'm buying one. I've already got one on order, so it's coming. Look at that. That thing just got bought up. I'm sure there's a lot of people that took puts on the way down on that thing and just got smoked out. Nope, I'm not thinking about calls. Nope. Nope, don't trade Tesla. I only trade SPY and ETFs. So green candles here popped up at the top, right at the top of the range. Again, VIX rolled over. Big red candles on the VIX here. Rat, November 2020. Almost, almost. Yeah, yeah. Patience is all about it, Ben. It's all about being patient. You don't want to YOLO into a lot of positions. Uh, it's not about taking as many positions as you can. It's about picking the right strikes. So I don't mind. Uh, sitting on my hands, even if I miss a few trades, I'm getting high quality setup. Sometimes I miss them. Most of the time, I'm pretty good at identifying the high quality setup. So I'm good with it. Let's just say I had a great summer, Lee, right? Qs are green up here, across the EMAs to the upside. NASDAQ is there. Futures come up. It's got the 8 EMA to the top, coming back down. And trading sideways right now. We're at the top of this range here. Dipped down, immediately bought up. Not really much volume, though. So we'll see there. Where did I learn my years? I mean, I've been doing this for about a decade. I learned through reading. I learned through learning from reputable sources, asking as many questions as I could. I never had a mentor, so it's all about reading other people's minds, like reading books, watching good YouTube. I'm a recovering YOLOer. That's awesome. All right, red candles on back down. I'll never leave us, Bryson. Never leave us. I love it. I love this place. It's amazing. All right, back into the range here. VIX oscillating. A lot of craziness going on right now. What books can you link them in the? Yeah. So how to trade money in stocks is a great one. Trading in the zone, great one. Hedge fund market makers, great one. Volume price analysis, that's a must. Stuff like that. I'll link them. Yeah, it's good stuff. You need to know if my count is 7 figures or 8 figures for inspiration. It's not 8, I'll tell you that. That's the goal, is 8. Y'all have to realize, like when I talk about, when you like, I do not have my wealth in my trading account. It's spread across long term account, real estate, stuff like that. I don't think it's wise to have all of your money in a trading account. I don't need that many numbers in my trading account because that's going to play with my mind too. The fact that I'm sitting here trading only SPY, I'm not going to sit there and have all that money just tied up doing nothing. It's unwise. I want my money working for me. There's no point in having money if you're not going to have it work for you. So, what is a strangle? I heard you saying when you sold one the other day. How do you profit with that strategy? That's a long conversation to have. But to summarize, if you're familiar with options trading, you know that we as options traders fight theta. That's our number one nemesis as options traders. As we're losing money on theta, the people selling us those options, selling strangles, selling options, they're gaining that theta. They're actually collecting those premiums. So the money has to go somewhere. We lose it, they gain it. So I sell strangles, and it's a good way to collect on the downside in a choppy market. So if you've got the price here and you sell a strangle, when all that means is you're selling a call, let's say at 446 there, and you're selling a put, let's say at 442 there, your top profit is where what you want the price to stay right. You want this thing to trade. And when you sell a call, sell a put, strangle, that's why you're selling a call and a put on either side of the current price. You want that price to stay right here as long as possible. The longer it stays here, the more that calls decay, the more you collect. That's a strangle. Red candles here on SPY coming back down. NASDAQ is just rolling over, as is the futures. VIX popping up 34. Things are looking bearish. I bought some Q puts this morning. Dumb. I mean, it doesn't look like it's dumb right now. All right, red candles here. SPY starting to break down through the EMAs. Futures there. Stand by, hold on. NASDAQ's getting smoked. VIX is starting to increase. SPY's there. Six 610. Watching these. I've got the 440 puts on August 21st. I'm going to go with the 4430s. And I'm going to adjust these to the 4430s. All right, so the bottom of the range here, futures rejected the top of that pre-market range and are rolling over. It's Friday, August 20th. It's August 21st is a year because they're dated as monthly, so they're August 20th. Obviously, I'm not buying options on a Saturday. A lot of trolls in the YouTube live chat this morning. SPY is red coming on down. NASDAQ selling. Man, that thing just went from 11.10 to 12 bucks. Sustained selling volume here. Firing to the squeeze on the downside. XLF, what's XLF doing? Still not rolling on XLF. The bonds are still down here. $44440. Green candles there. SPY is trading right there. XLK, XLF. Still beast mode here. So that's what's throwing me off with the puts here. We got XLF is still up here. NASDAQ is rolling. Got bought up here at the bottom of their range. And then the futures are smack dab there. So you've got this low of 44.30 and up here at 44.49. And here it's 44.39 right here in the middle at 75. Energy's doing its thing. XLV getting smoked. Yeah. I have Pro Plus. Pro Plus. I don't. No, never traded iron condors. No. Hey, this is the first time on the stream. How do you stream? How often do you stream throughout the week? I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on YouTube from market open until usually 12 Eastern. I have to sign off a touch early today. And then on the Patreon, I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. What would be my confirmation? Honestly, if I was a little quicker on the gun, I probably would have taken puts earlier. I just didn't get there. Right now, it's a little down. It's the way it's acting right now. The buyers keep stepping in here, so it's throwing some false signals right now. So I have no problem sitting here just watching this today because I know what's coming. What I really want is to see this thing close down so we could take some swings. If we do start, if it looks like we're going to close below my level, I'll take my swing puts today. That would be fantastic. Will I alert on Patreon? Yeah, I'll alert on the in the Discord. That's why I send all my alerts up. All my alerts. It'll be. I'm looking at September 3rds. September 3rds now. What position size do you normally use for swing puts? Back in the day, I mean, it all depends on the confirmation, obviously. For swing puts, I'll go a little smaller, especially in the bull market. You need to be careful. For the swing calls, when we actually come back down to the 50, I'll go a little larger. That'll probably be a pretty sizable position. So. Yep, yeah, I'll post those. I opened up an OM swings plays, so if you look in there, that's where I'll notify when I do take that position. Yeah, that last position was not like that was not my traditional swing plays. I thought it was just going to gap up overnight. Obviously, I was wrong. That was intent to be a 1-day swing, so I did go very small on that. It was literally just to see if my confirmation played out, which it didn't. So when I take a swing call that bounces off the 50, that'll be a sizable position. I might actually consider posting the actual entry on that one with the actual position with actual contract size. So we'll see. I'm debating on that one. Last time I alerted that one, it was I think it maxed out at 500% gain after we alerted that play. Thanks, Joshua. Appreciate that. What is a swing put? Swing put is just a swing play is when you swing it overnight. Oh, yeah. I was like, how does he get that information? Yeah, for sure. It was small. He's watching me. How do you decide how long you let your losers run while day trading? It all depends on the market conditions. If I take a call and it just looks like, for example, let's say you think this is going to base here, consolidate, and it's going to trend up. It's going to go crazy. So you take a call here. Let's say you do that. And then you see this big, massive sell-off here. You see the NASDAQ roll over. You see the futures reject the high and roll over. You see the VIX start to spike off the bottom. I would have closed this baby because everything just looks super bearish. Now, if everything's looking good here and you take a call, let's say you take a call here, you get this little sell-off and then you see the green start buy up, I wouldn't close that because you're watching the action here. It doesn't look overall bearish. I'm just picking examples out of the air here. It's all about market conditions here. Sometimes I'll let a position go to negative 15, negative 20% before it rebounds and goes green. Sometimes I'll cut a position before it even goes red. Sometimes I'll cut a position negative 30 because it looked like it was going to come back and it just doesn't do it. So it all depends on the particular setup. 2 days ago, I closed a loss at 18% because it looked like it was going to get away from me, which it did. It would have been a huge loss if I would have kept that position. It would have been like a 90% loss. So I closed it at 18. So because you have to look at the market conditions. And that's part of admitting when you're wrong. You have to admit when you make a wrong decision. You have to admit when you make a wrong entry and get out of it. So would you ever consider making an earnings play to capitalize on IV crush, or is that a bit too different from your normal stuff? Hey, I'd consider it. I usually don't play earnings, but the IV crush, yeah, it's a fantastic play. Yeah, I did. And back in the end of June, I went with smaller position sizes. Like I was trading 100%. I was trading 100 contract lots up to 200 contract lots for SPY. And man, it took a lot of stress off me, honestly, especially live trading in front of everybody where like I've got my reputation to maintain. Like I took reducing my position sizes. It made my win rate go up and it made my profits go way up too. Like I had a record July trading small position sizes. So I mean, yeah, I took a 34% position size at the beginning of the quarter, the beginning of the trading log, and then as I reduced my position sizes, my profits went up. So it was a very unique observation. Ben, because people want to take advantage of a consolidating situation on which it's not really obvious in which if you want to take a long call, long put. So you just sell a strangle, let it do a thing in the middle, and you collect. So it's just it's all about having you don't I don't want to do 100% theta. I don't want to do 100% long calls on puts. You want to do a blended system where you can play. You want to have a toolbox with a whole bunch of tools. So if you say, okay, you know, it's been 4 days and SPY hasn't traded outside of a 30-cent range. All right, I'm going to play some theta. It's all about having different tools in your toolbox. All right, more downside here on SPY. Nasdaq selling, and futures are down here at the bottom. VIX still spiking. Hey, look at this red candle. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. Uh, I really go for about a week, and I go for the point 0.1 deltas. That's what I'm shooting for. How long would I typically hold those 2 to 3 week puts? Probably 4 to 5 days. The downside moves don't happen as long as the upside moves, so maybe not even that. 2 to 3 days. VIX spike and SPY is 44340, right in the middle of their range. No, because I probably won't hold my puts all the way down to the confirmation of the calls because I'll be a little less aggressive with the puts as I will be with the calls. The calls I'll hold a lot longer than the puts. So VIX starting to spike. Nasdaq is selling. Here we got the futures. We're at that volume node for the SPY. There are exceptions. There are exceptions. I mean, there's an exception to every rule. You can't have an ironclad system on which you won't shift. Just like when we do pilot briefings, you've got your briefing guide that's all the standard stuff. It's all the rules, all the stuff you look at, and then when you go off script, when you go non-standard, you brief to non-standard. You say, okay, we're doing this different today, and that's the same way with trading. You can't have a system that's ironclad, that's immovable. You have to be able to flex to each situation. And that's what I try to show y'all. Like, yes, I've got a certain list of rules or guidelines, more like, where I operate. And sometimes the situation calls for me to flex that a little bit. And that's what I do. Is there a way to lose on options? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so futures are breaking down there. NASDAQ is rolling over. VIX spiking hard. Yeah, get into it, Lee Rat. Take notes. Take notes. What's up, Uncle Terry? How you doing? Been watching videos for about a week now. Well, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being here on the live. It's good stuff. Yeah, most of the time I trade SPX. Sometimes I'll dip into SPY just because I like the spreads better. I like the position, the volume a little bit better. You know, it's just all comfortability. About a week, and I usually get the 0.1 deltas on those strangles. How far outside the money? Okay, you got that. Yeah. Do you usually sell them for the day they expire? No, usually I'll wait a couple of days. I'm doing pretty good, Uncle Terry. I'm doing really good. Thanks. Thanks. Better than I deserve. Better than I deserve. Any thought for today's small rally? Just a little buying of the weakness here, but then everything's selling off here, obviously. So that's why I still think that we do have downside. I thought we might touch the lower 445s, and I said that in the pre-market. I thought lower 445s would come into play, and then some downside. So how wide is the spread on SPX? Sometimes it's 30 cents, 40 cents. Sometimes it's 10 cents. So it all depends on the particular day. Usually, you know, and when you're analyzing the volume in your markets and the contracts you're selecting and stocks you're selecting, the tighter the spread, the more liquidity. The more volume, the more buyers and sellers, the tighter that spread is. If you look at a stock that traditionally does not have a lot of volume, maybe it's something like a lower down the list stock, doesn't really trade all that much. The spread's very large, like very large. It's hard to get fills because the buyers and sellers can't agree. As it gets close to an event, as volume starts to come into that stock, you'll see that spread get tighter and tighter and tighter. And then pretty much like when that spread is almost the same, the buyer and ask is almost the same, you'll see a rocket in price because buyers and sellers agree on a price and it rockets. So it's part of looking at that spread, analyzing the spread, analyzing the volume to determine when it is time to make a play. From what time do you usually live stream? Every day, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm streaming here on YouTube from market open until 12 Eastern normally. Today, I have to sign off here in a few minutes. I have to jump off a little early. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I stream for my Patreon subscribers in the Discord every Tuesdays and Thursdays, exclusive. Do you think the tax incentive makes it worth it? As long as the spread isn't too wide, yes, I do, Ben. Yes, I do. Boy wonder. I usually select that strangle after the morning shake and bake. I let the morning shake and bake come out. I'd like to open the oven, smell that nice crispy aroma, the shake and bake, and then I'll enter position. Thanks, Uncle Terry. Appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for being here. Look forward to it. Oh, thanks. Yeah. When I first started doing this, I was told that make sure your audio is high quality because that'll be the first turnoff for people. So I invested in a pretty decent mic. So, yes, I do. I discuss all my current trades. Cat Daddy, yes, I have. In fact, Patreon has a feature that links up to your YouTube account. They have a YouTube link that I can do exactly that. I think what happens is I post the unlisted YouTube link in the Patreon, and like you go actually into your Patreon account, and you click on it and you watch it in the Patreon. I believe. What mic do you get? I got the Yeti Blue X. I'd sometimes close them the next day. Boy Wonder next day. Early on, people gave me such a hard time over the mic. Yep, they did. They did. Am I hoping for 445? I don't know. I don't think we'll hit 445. I think, I thought we'd get up there, but we get to 444.60, which is good enough. I thought somewhere in that range. And here we are on the downside, man. Oh, you're welcome, Wowers. Thanks for being here, buddy. A YouTuber's best friend. Yeah, the Yeti. I like it. Now I have to go with a new headset too, you know. Why close a strangle the next day? Aren't you scared of the market movement that day? Well, it's all market conditions. Sometimes I'll close it that day if I think there's going to be a move. If I think it's going to stay there, I'll hold it next day. So I'll tell you this though, I've never lost money on selling a strangle, not once. That's why I do it. Bonds. Let's see what the bonds. Someone said gap up on bonds here. Yep, gapping up there. SPY hanging out in the middle of their range. NASDAQ there. Green candles here on the futures. SPY is up there. Knock on wood. I go for 0.1 delta, so wherever that puts me, boy. I haven't made one in about a week or so, but as long as the market's chopping, I'll throw one in there. Nope, didn't, Matt. No trade. No trade. Partially because I'm going to have to bounce off here, and I don't want to be stuck in a trade that I am in a little longer than I intend. No, not today. I won't. I won't be back on today. I know. I'll just be away from the computer for a while. What I recommend for small accounts: use the smallest position sizes you can. That's still going to make you money. Be very like you want to protect your profits with reckless abandon. I mean, like protect your profits. Don't bring on the mindset that you have to YOLO just because your account's so small. I am living proof, man. Like 8.7% position size, and I made more money than I ever have, not including 2020. I made more money than I ever have in July using that. And I don't mean just on dollar amount. I mean on position, like on percentage of returns in July because of position sizes. Do you find losses come from mostly calls or puts? For me, I play calls down the middle. I play calls and puts down the middle. If you look at my trading log, it's literally like half puts, half calls, which I'm very proud of. And my winning percentage is actually higher on puts than it is calls. Just because I guess because my natural eye, it's easier for me to see downside than it is upside, especially on this crazy bull market that's been going for 18 months. Yep, not even back on Patreon, Lee. Right, not today, unfortunately. Just a naturally negative person. No, no, come on now. I'm a positive light in the harbor. What's up, Lee? Yeah, no, yeah, I'll miss you too, Lee Rat. I'll miss you too. Yeah, y'all ping the crap out of me if we start dipping down below that 442, so I can enter a. I'll have it all dialed up. We'll be back on tomorrow. I will be streaming with Patreon tomorrow, and I'll be back on YouTube on Friday, Javier. If I can walk, because I'm going to destroy my legs today. Yes, Brian, I do. Not all day. Not all day. I usually sign off the same time. Originally, my Tuesdays and Thursdays days were my content creation days. It's days where I didn't stream at all for nobody, and I just created content. But I use that day to kind of give back to the Patreoners and stream exclusively for them, and to squeeze in my content creation at 2 o'clock in the morning. Where can I find a journal of your trades? If you look in the Discord and go under the OM trade log, you will see all my trades. I update it every Friday. Except for 1 week, I didn't do it for a few days and everybody yelled at me. So, but every other week, I update it every Friday. 11 Eastern, or 11 Central, yeah, 12 Eastern, 11 Central. I want to see that 500 back squat today. No, not today. Maybe another 4 to 6 months. I'm on vacation on Belgium over the next few days. Nice, which means you guys get an easy 100% on Thursday, Friday. Hopefully. Well, I maxed at 425 in December of 2020. I haven't maxed since then, and now I'm pretty much doing 420 for reps. So, right now I probably say I'm somewhere in the 450, 460 range. Hopefully, another 4 to 6 months I could throw on the extra 40, 50 pounds. Especially now that I've bumped up to doing 2 days a week, 2 leg days a week, and 2 body parts a week. How can I see your options buying setup to be used in the Indian market? I guess that would be if you're privy to the Indian markets, you could apply it as long as you're using volume. I mean, it's applicable to anything. So currently in COVID lockdown where I am, I would assume Australia. Since I finished college baseball, but now I'm gonna hold on. Someone said that I just blended 2 messages together. Can you suggest a lower back wad without equipment? Yeah, absolutely. Straight leg. Good morning. Straight legged deadlifts. If you've got no equipment at all, You do what's called, what's it called? Man, I forgot what they're called. It's where you lay on the ground and press up, keep your hips on the ground. I forget what they're called. Completely just based on the mind on the name firm. No. Yeah, but do straight-legged. Good mornings. Good mornings are great. Supermans are great too. Yeah, you lay down, face down. You put your hands at your side, hips on the ground, and you lift your whole upper body off the ground. You do that for reps, strengthen that lower back. Great stuff. A lot of good stuff. The glute bridges are fantastic. Yeah. You want to, you also with your lower back, you want to strengthen your hamstrings too. Hamstrings, lower your glutes. You want to make those flexible, lower back, all that. The posterior chain is all crucial. If you think about a spring holding a 10-pound weight at the top of the spring, and the spring is very weak, that thing's going to flop all over the place. You want to strengthen that spring where it can really hold that weight with structure. And that's a whole posterior chain. You strengthen your posterior chain, you strengthen everything. Big red candle here, SPY coming down. All right, so the futures as SPY is coming down to this 44326 level. VIX spiking. Yeah, buddy. If I do make shirts, I'm going to get a shirt with yeah, buddy on it. OptionsMillionaire personal trainer. Man, I love fitness, dude. It's my second passion. I love the finance industry, obviously, and I love the fitness industry. OM calls puts. I show all my trades in OM calls puts. All right, y'all. It is 10:30 my time, 11:30 your time. I'm gonna have to get off. Well, real estate's included into the financial world, but yeah, I get what you're saying. You could put real estate in its number 2 and fitness number 3. I got you. Well, if you look at my Twitter, it's the 4 Fs, man. 4 Fs, and that's faith, family, finance, fitness. The 4 Fs. You can add a 5th F in there for friends, I guess. But yeah, the 4 Fs, baby. That's what I live by. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a real good dude. He's one of those dudes that holds up to his public image. He's a good dude. I haven't heard of that tribe. New here. Yep, we day trade, and occasionally we'll throw in a swing trade. But yeah, I just do day trades. Jacked and rich, baby. That's right, Vinny. That's right. Tea for tacos. There you go. Yeah, if you take a look, Boy Wonder, if you take a look at my options educational videos, I'd go over everything in there. So, all right, VIX is increasing here. SPY is still on the downtrend. Little gravestone doji there. So, anyway, y'all, it is 11:30 Eastern. Unfortunately, it's time for me to hop off here. I got to do a few things that are non-standard out in the day. Got to get a few things done. So, I'll be back bright and early tomorrow for our Patreoners. Be on the lookout for that. I'm going to try to hook up our video with YouTube with our Patreoners. I'll be back for the general public back on Friday, so be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, we get our downside and do some swing puts, baby. Yeah. So, no, I don't, Jules. No, I don't. So, yeah. That's all I got for me today. If you have any more questions, please go in the Discord, throw them at me in a DM. I'll be happy to answer as many DMs as I can. Usually, I spend the mornings and the evenings answering DMs. You could always throw me in at OptionsMillionaire in the Patreoners room. Of course, we do have our Patreoners link if you want to sign up for that and take advantage of all the cool perks that come along with being with that. So I'll throw that here in the room. Be a part of the community, man. It's a great community. Growing, learning, prospering, baby. Growing, learning, prospering. That's all it's about. Get better every day. You got to get a little bit better every day. Whether it's in fitness, whether it's in your faith, whether it's in your family or your finances, you got to get a little better every day. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Appreciate every single person being here. Thanks for taking the time out of your morning to hang out with us. I'll see y'all tomorrow. See ya.